I have to admit I was surprised by Call of Duty Black Ops 6, because I didn't know there'd been a Black Ops 5. I remember Black Ops 4, I remember it expected us to pay full price for a game with no story campaign, and then I remember a sort of red mist coming down, and then I woke up in a Portaloo wearing a length of human intestine as a sock. Hang on, Yards, didn't you pledge to stop doing Call of Duty after the Modern Warfare remake, and didn't you skip laughing from the room as if the burdens of a generation had been lifted from your very soul? Well, A, while Modern Warfare games still reflect the washed-out masturbation fantasies of neocon armchair generals, the Black Ops campaigns have historically been more inclined to let the freak flag fly in interesting ways, and B, Black Ops 6 is set in the 90s, an era I actually remember from before the current age of shit, so I was hoping it'd add a pleasant nostalgic vibe and half-decent pop soundtrack to all the extra-legal foreigner torturing. And having played through the story, I gotta say, there's something weirdly off-brand about Black Ops 6. Yes, you do get to extra-legally torture a foreigner just once as a treat, and there's plenty of over-the-top shouty shootouts against clearly much poorer equipped enemies, but there's always a slightly apologetic air to it. I swear all I had to do was spray bullets vaguely in the direction of the dudes, and their heads popped with little festive bursts of red smoke to amuse the children. Also, the overarching story is about as low effort as this shit gets. We play as CIA operatives who discover a plot to take over the world by an evil, sing along if you know the words, private military corporation, who of course have mysteriously limitless funding and manpower and operate like fucking James Bond villains, and of course they've stolen a bioweapon that they are of course planning to drop on civilian targets, and of course they're being controlled by a secret mole within the CIA. Ooh, can I take a guess, Black Ops 6? Which of the only two established CIA higher-up characters could it be? The one that your allies keep suggesting might be the traitor, who was a bit of an asshole in his opening angry police chief you're a loose cannon Black Ops hand over your badge and gun scene? Or is it the one who's ostensibly on our side and been nothing but smiles and peach cobbler but has to stay at HQ for unclear reasons and takes a weirdly large amount of personal time off? No, I didn't drop a spoiler warning because I respect your fucking intelligence! But overarching story straight from the make your own Call of Duty plot paint by numbers kit aside, the odd thing about the campaign is I swear every mission came from a different fucking game. It starts with a standard Call of Duty committing war crimes in the Middle East adventure, but then switches to a stealthy assassination mission, not unheard of in the spunk gargle wee wee realms. But next we left turn into a sort of hitman area where we infiltrate a political event trying to isolate a single target through a choice of mini objectives where there's a nice Bill Clinton cameo, but sadly no opportunity to shoot him in the bell end and change the entire course of modern history. Then the game turns flat out open world on us for a single chapter, not in a hugely elaborate way, more like a Helldivers 2 mission, 2 square miles of desert, 3 objectives to blow up, 10 or 11 bonus activities and 1 slightly bored Yahtzee Crowshaw. Cause it's all rather one note, the enemy presence gradually ramps up, but none of it makes it that much harder to creep in from an unexpected angle, glue a C4 to the target like a traffic cop dropping a parking ticket, and then creep back out again. Then the developers either got really bored or ran out of Ritalin-flavoured Rice Krispies, because next is a fucking sci-fi survival horror level, set in a disused research facility where we get a face full of scarecrow fear toxin and have to locate 4 key cards while fighting off undead horrors and mannequin monsters. We return to the real world just in time for an Ocean's 11-style casino heist and another wild spin on the wheel of emotional tones. The whole game culminates in the main villain having to go through a surreal nightmare world based on their subconscious mind, solving Silent Hill puzzles and fighting evil clones of themselves. Altogether, it feels like a game made by developers who would rather have been making literally anything but a Call of Duty game, and I guess that makes us of a like mind, because I didn't want to play one either. Oh, Yahtzee, are you starting to encroach upon a recommendation for Black Ops 6? Dare we dream? No, it's fucking moronic. The variety smorgasbord approach to game design means every individual element is throwaway and teaspoon shallow. The research facility level introduces this whole plot point where the main character is secretly a bioengineered super soldier or something, which had never come up before and doesn't really go anywhere. Also, you get a grappling hook for this level, which I'd normally appreciate, but it's only for this level and never again, and I find that offensive, frankly. It's like taking an animal conservationist to a circus to watch the dancing bear. The character focused on during the weird Psychonaut's mental journey level is one who's had all of about 10 minutes of screen time up to then, so we have to cram a tragic backstory, vision quest, and redemption arc into about half an hour of gameplay. Then, at the very end, we learn that the stock bad guys have planted the stock super weapon in the stock Capitol building, so I'm thinking, okay, gunfight in well-known location at the heart of American national identity. Guess bookending things with standard Call of Duty operating procedure is a good way to wrap things up. And the game goes, yes, I suppose it would have been. Anyway, the end. The bomb got defused off screen. Good job. Have you tried zombie mode? Actually, that's not quite the end. We have to have one last scene with asshole superior you're a loose cannon police chief dude. So he can go, I'm sorry Black Ops, you were right all along. Thank you for saving the world from the evil rogue unaccountable branch of the CIA. Now, please form your own rogue unaccountable branch of the CIA and pinky promise not to turn evil this time. I'd have called it completely lacking in self-awareness, but the chapter with Bill Clinton ends with the main characters escaping from a police siege on a pair of American flag decorated motorbikes that just happen to be there, fully gassed up and under a fucking spotlight, and that doesn't feel like something an unself-aware developer would do. Who did develop this game anyway? Treyarch, Yahtzee. Oh right, well, and Infinity Ward, yeah, and Raven Software, Sledgehammer Games, Demonware, High Moon Studios, and Activision Shanghai. Well, that rather sheds light on... And Beanox. Well, that rather sheds light on the situation here. Clearly all 47 development teams worked on a different part of the game and weren't allowed to talk to each other. You know, I'm not too proud to admit I enjoyed bits of the Black Ops 6 campaign. I assume that was the point, to cater to as many disparate tastes as possible, but I'd have respected it more if it had picked a lane. I worry about your self-esteem, Call of Duty. You should try to be the best damn Call of Duty you can be, not a little bit of Hitman, Splinter Cell, Psychonauts, Payday 2, Control, and Helldivers. What are you, a fucking PlayStation demo disc?
This video is brought to you by GameMaker, the free, fast, and easy-to-use 2D game engine that helps power modern classics like Undertale, Hotline Miami, and Hyper Light Drifter. Starter templates, official asset bundles, and a wealth of tutorials are available to help bring your ideas to life. And you can export and share your game for free on all non-console platforms. But you don't have to take my word for it, I'm just some jerk. We have an actual bona fide game maker on hand.
Oh shit, that's me. Yes, I've been using GameMaker for a long time. It's probably the most powerful and easiest to use engine for making 2D games out there, suitable for both amateurs and hardcore coders, and with all the Steam and console integration stuff for when you're ready to start monetizing your hobbies. I used it to make my recently released game, Starstruck Vagabond, which has already delighted thousands of sci-fi cozy game aficionados, thanks to GameMaker being so bloody great.
Head on over to the GameMaker link in the description to begin your game development journey today.